Peace and love, and welcome to Black Diamond Worldwide Outreach. Today we are celebrating our Black History Month, as we have been doing all month on our Facebook and Instagram pages at Black Diamond Worldwide Outreach. And if you want to see what we have been posting, you can log on to Facebook and Instagram and see all of the people that we have celebrated so far for Black History Month. So happy Black History Month to each and every one of you. I see us just growing from strength, telling the truth about what we're experiencing as Black people, as people in the world in general, but also moving in love, surrounding ourselves in love, so that we can enter the future with unity, togetherness, and most of all, love. So please put your fists in the air and affirm with me, let there be love. And just feel your mind opening up, your soul opening up, your spirit, your body, your life opening up as you affirm with all the power in your fists, all the power in your life, let there be love. Let love continue. Let love continue. And this is what I see for our country and for all people around this world. You know, there are so many hateful people that just look at the color of your skin and decide what you are, stereotyping people for what they are. Just because of the color of their skin. But we can know that we are working in love. Now, we're coming off the heels of our week of love. Hopefully everyone was able to celebrate the love of God within them, the love they have for themselves, the love they have for the people in their world. Did you treat yourself to something good? Hopefully you did. Did you remind yourself how wonderful you are as a child of a living God? I hope you did. Did you tell others how wonderful they are as children of God? I hope that you did, especially during this month of Black History, where we see so many things going on, you know. But now that we have come out of that Valentine's Day love, we can concentrate on the love that we're spreading in the world, the love that we're spreading to the people in our world. I remember Cornel West reminds us that justice is what love looks like in public, just as tenderness is what love looks like in private. So now that we had that private love, we can now go out and claim justice for the world. As we celebrate Black History Month, you know, I think everyone around the world saw the video earlier this week of what happened in the mall with these two kids, one black, one white, fighting. The cops come and arrest the black kid and put the white kid to sit down. And, you know, everyone, black or white, or any race, just saw the difference in how these two men were treated. And, you know, there's so much, especially that I have gone through as a black man in this world. I always say to people, you know, I'm a black, gay, West Indian man with dreads. So believe me, I've been insulted more than once in this world. But it's all about how we take it. I know that I have a love that is so strong in me that no one can come and tell me anything that is unlike the love of God in me, the joy of God in me, the expression of God in me. And hopefully you do that too, whether black, white, whatever race, wherever part of the world you are from or you are in, just know that you are a child of a living God. So February, we celebrate our Black History Month, and we remember from slavery to Jim Crow to segregation, the lynchings, the hangings. I think when I see pictures of lynchings and hangings, you know, it angers you because, first of all, the pictures that we have of those lynchings and hangings, those come from postcards that people have kept in their family albums. You know, in places like Alabama, Mississippi, I remember, you know, as a child of immigrants, we would have people just come through, not necessarily our house, but maybe the church. Other family members had people come from Guyana or other parts of the West Indies just so they can get their footing in this country. And I remember my parents, my family members would just warn them, like, whatever you do, try to stay in New York or California. Don't go to especially Mississippi, Alabama, you know. It was just a warning that we had. But we know that we can bless these states, bless the people, these even the racist people. They are all our brothers and sisters, whether we like it or not. Some of us don't like it. We'll talk about that in just a second. So when we think about these postcards that we see with the lynchings and the hangings, and we see people enjoying it, you know, eating popcorn and chips and pretzels and everything, even back in those days, enjoying the time just seeing a black person being killed, even if it's for no reason at all. All the towns that were burned out by white supremacists and the police, you know, that's why a lot of African Americans and black people have issue with police. There are great police out there, but there is a negative history with that. All the towns that were burned out, flooded out, bombed out, with the help of cops and the FBI agents. Let's speak the truth about these things, right? All of our major political figures, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, it's now coming out that there were law enforcement officials that were behind the assassinations of some of our great black leaders. And so when we think about it, we realize that, yes, America does have a lot of things to answer for, a lot of things to grip with, a lot of things that we're grappling with. So we must tell the truth. We must tell the truth about reparations. We must tell the truth about who we are as citizens of America, who we are as people in this world. James Baldwin reminds us that to be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be in a state of rage almost all of the time. Part of the rage is it's not only happening to you. You know, just because we're talking about Black Lives Matter and all of these things that happen to our fellow black brothers and sisters doesn't mean that everyone is doing it. And just because we have white supremacists that are doing it doesn't mean that every white person is a white supremacist. But as we come to work together, like I said, with all the races, we can see a brighter and a greater future. One that Carter G. Woodson, when he started Black History Month so many years ago, can be proud of. We can work together in unity to stop the discrimination in there's so much discrimination. It's in housing, in renting, in banking, in land ownership, in music, education, production, just recognition. That's why we celebrate Black History Month, because so many things were taken away from the people who invented it, who just happened to be black. But now we're coming into a new understanding and recognizing those people for the genius that they gave to this world. So even though racism still exists, we can heal that with love. You know, there is an ex-football player, Emmanuel Ocho, that's having these conversations with racists. To me, it's a waste of time. I don't want to have a conversation with a racist if what I need to convince them of is that I am a human being living in human form, and that's why I should be respected. To me, that's a waste of time. Even though I'm always big for talking and having a conversation, but if you don't see me as a human being, then I don't see a need for a conversation. But it needs to happen. But we also need to have a mind of love. Me too. I need to have this mind of love and realize that not everyone has probably even seen a black person. So as I put love first and as you put love first, we can shape this world in God's love and be wonderful and happy in unity with all mankind. Put your fist in the air, affirm with me. Love is first place in my life. Love is first place in my life. So it means then that not only do we look at what racists are doing, but we must look at what we are doing, not only in response, but how we are living our lives. We must remember that each person must be seen as a human being. You know, the greatest phenomenon in this world is point of view. Everyone looks at things from different angles, but there must be a common ground of morality. right? We must understand that each person is the same. That's how we stand up for justice. Each person, no matter the city, the county, or the continent, we all are one. That's why I love to travel. You know, so many cultures, so many things that you see when you travel around the world. But the main basic thing is that we are all the same. And as we share for this love, first start with the people in your orbit. We must know that we are spreading and sending love to everyone and everything in the world. Martin Luther King reminds us that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, right? And it goes on, that quote goes on to say, we are tied in a single garment of destiny. You are me. I am you. The only difference that we have with us is our eye color, maybe our hair color and texture, but that's about it. Maybe our height, but that is about it. We are all one. We all have the same body. We all have the same mind. And we're all on the same planet. That makes us brothers and sisters. That is why we should come together. So we must now refuse to take part in certain things that degrade other people. We must watch our conversations. We must stop having racist conversations, sexist conversations, misogynistic, homophobic, things that make fun of trans people, right? Things that make fun of people who are overweight, people who are handicapped. I follow this guy online that is, he's deaf. And he talks about how we used to get bullied in school for being deaf. He shows pictures of him with black eyes and broken ribs. And I'm just like, why would someone make fun of another person because they have a handicap? But we must also look at the negative things that are coming into our world and decide that we are not taking part in those situations. So we must get away from the negative and the gossip. We must seek to uplift humanity through individual actions and steps. Seek to uplift humanity through little things that we can do. Remember that hatred is just love that has lost its way. But we can decide what we're allowing into our life, the energy that we're allowing or letting people give to us and rest with us in our life. I think of a friend of mine who is a white guy and he has a bald head. He looks like a skinhead. He'll tell you that. I'm not, just making fun of him. He'll tell you that. But he'll also tell you that when he goes out to different places that are known for racism because he has a job there or whatever, people would come to him and be racist, say racist things about black people in their orbit. And he would stand up and say, listen, just because I look like this does not mean that I am you. Stop being racist. And this is what we all can do. Not only for people, but for the things in our world. We have to learn to love and respect all of humanity and make the decision to speak right words, to think right thoughts about other people, to remember that everyone on this planet, no matter what you think of them, they are human beings just like you and I, and they deserve our respect. Please affirm with me, I love all of humanity. I respect all of humanity. How wonderful is that? Let love bring growth in your life and in your existence. Let love be the growth in your life and in your existence. Last week we talked about 1 Corinthians chapter 13. In verse 11 of that same scripture, it says, when I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought as a child, I reasoned as a child, but becoming an adult, I do away with childish things. So each and every one of us has maybe something that we grew up with, something that is in our brain about different things. Again, trans people, gay people, the LGBT community, handicapped people, women, Men, all of us grew up with certain messages, but now that we're adults, not only maybe in age, but in thought process, now that we're learning to work with love, we have to look at the things that we believe about different people in the world and see if we're uplifting the world, if we're bringing love and joy to those people and to their lives. That is our mission as children of God. That is our mission, being on this planet, excuse me, sharing love and joy with other people, having this mature, adult, unconditional love in the world. It's all about growth. I think about, and I think everyone has gone through this. When you're small and you have your favorite song, or just a song that you know on the radio or wherever it's played, and as an adult you hear it again and you're singing and you're like, oh my God, you have a new understanding of what they're actually saying. When you were a teenager, whatever, you were just saying these things, not really having an actualization of what they're really saying. But as you get older, you get a better perception and you're like, oh my God, that's what I was singing all this time. I would never let my children hear those songs, but it's all about growth. We must always leave space for actualization, right? Not everybody sees things as you do. Actualization, the definition of that is to make actual, to realize certain things for what it truly is, not what you want it to be. To be pragmatic, which means, taking things as they are. And as we do that, we realize that if people knew better, they would do better. Today, we know better. We know that we must work in love. We know that the actions that we are giving out to other people, they come back, they circle this globe, circle this universe, come back to us, pressed down, shaken together, running over, multiplied 10 million, a billion times. So, what you give out, you're getting back a millionfold. So what are you giving out in your world? Do not become bad by repeating negative actions. They say that when you hold resentment or when you hold hatred, it's like you drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Don't drink the poison of hate. Don't drink the poison of you are this person, I am better than you, or you are less than me. No, we are all one. And as we work with this now, we can live our lives in a better way. We can live our lives peaceful wherever we go. We can get away from road rage. I saw a video the other day of a gentleman that had he had like a camera in his car, and the police released the video, and someone cut him off, and he took a gun out of his middle compartment, right? And started shooting from his passenger side all the way through to he didn't even roll down his own window to shoot the other person. And I just thought, but this is people sometimes, right? They want to hurt people so badly that they do not realize that all they are doing is hurting themselves. We got to look at our bad behavior. We got to look at the energy that we're giving out to other people and realizing that our bad habits, our actions, the wrong choices that we're making, they affect our lives and they affect this world at large. Because as you interact with other people, they interact with someone else, and that energy continues and continues and continues. We got to tell the truth about bad behavior. Repeated negative behavior, to me, is psychotic. Right? And, there are people that say, you do one or two bad things, that doesn't make you a bad person. Well, repeated bad behavior does kind of make you a bad person. It's different than if you have to make a split-second decision, right? With good intentions. But when we repeat those things, when we're cheating on our relationships, when we're talking bad about the people in our lives, when we're doing all these negative things, they have repercussions. They are adding to our spiritual bank account. So, We must now have the energy of love and goodness and spread it throughout all the world. Put your fist in the air and affirm with me, I am the energy of goodness in the world. I am the energy of love in the world. So you have to speak these things. You have to make it known. Especially as we're looking, like I say, as we learn to love ourselves, we can demand justice for the world. Zora Neale Hurston says, if you are silent about your pain, they will kill you and say that you enjoyed it. Don't let people kill your spirit and then say that's what you wanted. Don't let people kill the joy, the peace, and most importantly, the love in your soul and say that that is what you deserve. Do good in the world. Be the good in the world. And that is what you will attract every day in every way. And so today we'll close with, of course, our love treatment. Hopefully you have printed it out from our website, or you go to our website every day and you're doing this love treatment. What a love treatment is just like how the doctor treats, like you're in the hospital with something and the doctor looks at either the progression of whatever you have or the regression of whatever you have and adjust the treatment so that at the end of the day, you are well enough to leave that hospital. That is what our love treatment is. If there is some hate in you, if there is some doubt in you, some negation in you, use your affirmations of love so that you can continue to bring this love up all days to come. For all of my African American brothers and sisters out there, we know the history. It is a horrible history. We know the present. We can make it a better present, but we have to remember to fight for justice. Maya Angelou reminds us that you may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. There are going to be many defeats, but you must not be defeated. In fact, it may be necessary to encounter the defeats so that you can know who you are, what you can rise from, and how you can still come out of it. Friends, I want to remind you today that you can pick your heart up when it's heavy. Again, as African Americans, black people in general, it's not just America that's going through racism. It's, black people all over the world. As we're looking at these things, our heart can be heavy. Even though we're not going through those things, we realize that this color that we have, this melanin that we have in our world, it can bring out negative conditions and things in our lives. But we can say for ourselves, you know what? I'm going to pick my heart up. I'm going to be better than those people. I'm going to be better and greater than the hate in the world. And we must teach our children to do this too, right? We must not become desensitized to the things in the world, but we must remember to fight for equality. And as we do that, our children pick it up and they fight for equality. Even if your heart is broken, you can be a wounded healer. Let's treat with love. Put your fist in the air and say with me, a great and powerful love is with me, in me, and all around me. Always. I nurture my mind with love. I heal my body with love. I fill my relationships with love. I do my part to spread love throughout this earth. I am God's perfect expression of love today and every day. It is so in love. Friends, I want to thank you for visiting us here at blackdiamondworldwide.org. Please visit us on Facebook and Instagram so that you can share in the inspirational quotes that we have throughout the week and stay encouraged in this world. Next week, we are going to be talking about Lent and what we're doing for Lent, how we should prepare for Lent. But for right now, remember to stay in this love Know that God's love, God, sorry about that. Sometimes you mess up. It's okay. You're still in love with yourself, and know that I still love you. Be blessed.